So this husband and wife, they move into this new house, and it's Sunday morning, and there's boxes all around, and they're, reading the newspaper and drinking their coffee, and the wife looks out her window, and she sees the neighbor has hung up their white laundry, and she looks and she's like, oh my gosh, it's so dirty. Who does that? Who hangs up their dirty laundry outside for everyone to see? That is so embarrassing. You think I should tell her? So the husband's like, honey, we just moved in. They're new neighbors. No, we really shouldn't tell her. Let's just not worry about her laundry and go on with unpacking. So, okay. So the next Sunday comes, and they're sitting, drinking their coffee, reading the paper, and she looks out her window and she's like, oh my gosh, honey, they did it again. They hung up their laundry. They're white. Look at how dirty it is. We know I'm really good with laundry. Maybe she doesn't have the right detergent, but if I just drop it off and I don't say anything, he's like, honey, we just moved in. We don't need problems with our neighbors. Like, please just forget about their laundry. So this goes on like for a couple of weeks, and every week he's like, oh my gosh, maybe I should say, no, honey, don't say anything. So after about 6 weeks, they're sitting there, the packages are finally, like the boxes are all gone, they're having their coffee, they're drinking they're reading the paper, and she looks out the window and she says, oh my gosh, honey, look, the laundry's so clean. She finally got it right. I am so glad I didn't say anything. I would have been so embarrassed. We would have had such bad relations with our neighbors. I'm so glad I didn't say anything. That is so awesome. I'm so happy for her. And she looks at her paper, and she drinks her coffee, and she looks at her husband, and she says, what did you do this morning? And he said, I washed the windows. Okay, so let me explain. She's looking out the windows and has no idea that it's her window. She thinks it's the laundry. That's life. We look out and we think, I'm seeing the truth. Objectively, I am just describing what I'm seeing in life. And what this is pointing to is like, no, you're never objectively just describing life. You're describing your thinking about life. And as soon as something gets cleared up, you see it differently. And that is so helpful for people to know that you're not experiencing the laundry. You're experiencing your thinking about it. And you think it's happening out there, and it's really happening in here. And as you kind of clean up and get clear and see the filter you start getting visibility and waking up to all the different feelings and thoughts you're having, you're like, oh my gosh, I am always 100% of the time having a thought created experience. And I get duped into the illusion that I'm not. That somehow you're creating my experience, that somehow the weather's creating my experience, that somehow my past is creating my experience. Like, that's the human experience. We're in it and we're out of it. But somehow when we have a knowing, that, but there is a truth. There is a truth of how my experience really does work, and I can always kind of come back to that. I can always wake up to that. Somehow when I do get lost, it doesn't seem so extreme. It doesn't seem as uncomfortable. It doesn't seem so painful. It's like we all get lost. There's almost like an accepting of my humanity. Like, oh, I just got lost in a misunderstanding right now. Well, not really a big deal because it was all just a thought-created experience. Anyway, like, I can be okay. I'm really okay. I'm okay no matter what. Which is a really powerful reality for people to tap into, where they kind of